Hi. Um, Today I've decided just to make a short video um, just before I start kind of doing what I've outlined um, as far as kind of deciding who I am and all of those things. That's the main overall arching narrative here. And I've broken it down into different pieces that I will go into, and then obviously we'll fill in more gaps as the time comes. I tried to switch my environment today, but it didn't work because I need this eye level. Before it was like me above the camera. It was very strange. So anyway, the preface for this is just that everything that I am going to say or whatever, um, first off, is kind of just meant. Like I said, a lot of this is just meant for me. So if you're benefiting from this in some way, even just by hearing someone else speak their truth, then great. But it's not meant to be here to say that my truth is absolute. So if someone is offended by something that I say, or I'm going to talk a lot about my hometown and kind of where I grew up and my wanting to escape, which now I realize, now that I've gone, the problem was never the place, it was me. However, um, a lot of the things that I've attributed to certain things have been tied to that. And I don't want that to have a negative connotation on anyone or anything viewing this. It means nothing. It's simply my opinion, how I felt at the time. Everything that has happened in my life has led me to this moment. So no matter what I say, if it's shocking or if it's you know hurtful to hear something about the past, um, I apologize in advance. That's what this video is basically, is a disclaimer that everything from here on out is going to be a little messy. I don't know what's going to come up. I don't know what feelings are going to come up, what stories are going to come up. Um, we'll just see how it goes and how it progresses. Like I said, my next video is all about kind of my hometown. And for a long time, I felt like I had to escape. And I think I was doing a lot of destructive behavior back then. So it kind of made it that I needed to escape. Um, those destructive behaviors have followed me a lot throughout my life. I would say they've stopped recently, but not entirely. So it's just kind of about maintaining and keeping it mindful. Um, while I was in New York, I never really set goals for myself. Um, my parents were both factory workers, and like I said, I will go into this in more detail later. But basically, I just thought as long as I graduated high school, that was kind of my goal, and I didn't really set any goals after that. The problem is that you kind of are forced to choose a career at a very young age and make these decisions that are very adult. And so I kind of pushed myself really hard to kind of stay on this timeline that eventually dissolved. And after it dissolved, I found myself not knowing what to do because everything didn't work out the way it was supposed to. And I think this happens to a lot of people. We set up a picture in our minds of how things are going to go, and when they don't go that way, we assume that everything is lost. So I spent all of my 20s kind of being lost and not having goals and kind of just trying to figure out the bare basics of how to be happy. And it's been like my biggest um, goal this entire time, in my entire life, has been just kind of to find happiness and peace. And I think that I'm still going to be searching for that for a very long time. But I think by talking out loud and kind of releasing a lot of stuff, that maybe these pieces will kind of, when they're laid out in front of me, I can put them back in a way that makes sense and integrate it more into my life. Yeah. The other thing that I'm gonna, mention a lot, and I don't want it to sound resentful, is that because I didn't have any dreams of my own, I put a lot of energy into helping Joe, my partner, and for a long time, I kind of silenced myself. Not that he asked me to, but I found myself being more silent. When I was young, I was very rambunctious and cocky, and I think that confidence. Uh, well, I don't think it's a problem now, but at the time, I was very confident, and a lot of people knocked me down a lot of notches, and it made it to the point where I was kind of destroyed, and I didn't know how to fix it, and I thought that I couldn't have that type of confidence again because it was bordering cockiness. And now I'm finding that I basically silenced myself for a very long time, and I don't want to do that anymore. I spent most of my late 20s in silence, kind of just observing a lot of people and imposing these rules that I had learned along the way of how I should act or how I should be, and the things that made me me, the very openness that I had, or the rambunctiousness, or whatever energy I was having before, I started viewing it as a negative thing. And now I'm getting back to where that's just who I am, to be open, to say things that I think that other people might not have the courage to say, or might not have the will to say, whatever the case. I think that now I'm finding my voice back, and I'm finding my dream again. And everything that I've been through, like I said, has led me up to this point. So I'm happy with the end result, and it's only going to go up from here. You know, it can only get so bad and so rough for so long. So again, this is just a quick disclaimer video. Now that I've kind of said my piece, and everyone knows that it's my truth, not your truth, there is no judgment here. If you're passing judgment on me, by all means, but I'm not listening, because again, this is for me. So it doesn't matter what anyone else says. This is my perspective and the way that I saw things growing up, and kind of the things that came into play to kind of give me insight as to why I am the way I am today. And also just to kind of build everything together so that I can move forward. I probably should have gone to a therapist many, many years ago, but now this is my therapist. I don't need validation from anyone. And I have a validation for myself, and that's enough. So I'm gonna just really push that as far forward as I can and see what happens. I plan on making a video maybe tomorrow. I'm not sure how many videos I want to put out a week. The goal right now is just kind of whatever. I did just reread a book that I'm going to share as a post on Instagram sometime around this video as well, either before or after. And it will kind of talk about inspiration and stuff, and you'll see why I kind of felt the push to make this video. So I have this really strong urge to keep creating right now, and I want to ride that feeling, but I also don't want to burn out, and I don't want to overdo it too quickly. I kind of want to say something and then let it sit and kind of bubble, you know, and see what else comes of that. Like I said, these videos are structured. You can kind of see it here. It's who am I, and then like where we're from. I'm kind of breaking it down into many different sections, like what makes us who we are. So starting from where we came from, either the physical location, what that's like, versus the environment that you grew up in. Then I'm going to go into, that's kind of, you know, K through 8 for me. Or no, I'm going to do it to about middle school. So probably like 10 years old. And then I'm going to go into kind of key moments after that, kind of my year in Dover, Pennsylvania, followed by my high school experience, followed by my college experience. And then I'm going to kind of break it down even further. I'm sure that when I talk about my past, as far as my childhood goes, there are a lot of things there that I can really dig into and kind of analyze. So I hope to do that. The problem is that I'm not really sure how to structure these videos. As I can see right now, this is already going on 9 minutes and I've not said much. So I will figure that out as I go. I'm going to try to keep them all within 10 minutes, because I think any more than that, anything that you would benefit, anyone who's watching this would benefit from, it's too much. And for myself, you know, when I look back at these videos, I want to be able to do them in the same way. I don't want to unwrap too much experience, trauma, whatever it is, in one time. It's going to be a lot to kind of go through and to figure out, but I'm very excited to do the work. So thank you for watching this and sticking it through 10 minutes in. Now you kind of have an idea of what's going to happen, and you've heard my apology in advance, and let's see what we can find out. Until next time, ciao.